Hello everyone, welcome to Mr. Naylor's class. I'm Mr. Naylor. Golf clap. And today what we're going to learn about is we're going to learn how to graph each point-slope form equation. So I'm going to give you guys an equation in point-slope form. Remember, first of all, what point-slope form even is. Let's take a look at it. So point-slope form looks like this. Y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Remember that x and y are the points, and remember that the slope is m. So anytime you do this, the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to plot the x and the y value. So step number one, plot x1, y1. From there, what you're going to do next is you are going to, from that point, you're going to use the slope to plot the next point. So use slope to plot the next point. So let's come up with an example. Let's say we start with something like y minus, let's say 2 equals 6 parentheses x plus 5. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to plot our x and y coordinate, right? Yeah. Now remember, when we look at this, that's the x value and that's the y value. It's always the opposite sign though. Remember when I told you about that?
Yes.
Okay, good. You weren't here.
Yes.
But sure, I'll take it. So the points that we're going to plot are -5, opposite sign, and +2, opposite sign. So -5, 2 would be right here. That's our first point. Now the next thing that we're going to do from there is we're going to use the slope to plot the next point. So what is the slope? Number one, Mr. Naylor's class fan? 6. So we're going to change that. We're going to write 6 over 1. I don't know why I put a 6 there, but it's going to be 6 over 1. What that means is you go up 6 and over 1. Very good. So from right here, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. That's what my graph looks like. If you can tell, if I read that from left to right, that slope is positive, right? Well, the slope is positive, so we're good. Let's do another one. So now I'm going to start with the equation y plus 3 equals 1/3 x minus 1. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to look and see what the points are. The points are +1 and -3. So 1, -3. I'm going to put that right here. 1, -3 is right here. From this point, I'm going to graph and use the slope to plot the next point. So the slope is 1/3. So that means I go up 1 and over 3. So go up 1 over 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put a point there, and I'm going to connect the dots. That is what this graph looks like. Let's take a look at another one. Let's say I have something a little bit more complicated, like y equals, let's say 2x minus 1. So here, all I have is a y. Before I had a y and then a plus or minus a number. So if there's no coordinate there, what is the coordinate for y? Not 1. If it was a 1, there'd be a 1 there. 0, that's right. So the x value is 1. It's always the opposite sign. And then the y value, there's no y value, so it's a 0. It's the same as saying y plus 0, which is y. So I'm going to plot 1, 0, which is right here. And then from there, I'm going to plot the slope. What's the slope?
2.
2. So I'm going to make 2 a fraction. I'm going to put 2 over 1. So from here, I'm gonna go up 1, 2 over 1. That also has a positive slope. If I read a graph, I always read left to right. I'm going up. Slope's positive, that's a positive number, good. Let's do one more. Let's do something even a little more challenging than that, I guess. How about we try y minus 4 equals negative x plus 2. What are the points that I'm going to start with? Yes. What points am I going to start with? What's my x value and my y value?
Negative 4 to 2.
Close.
Plus 4 to
Plus 4, negative 2.
So this is the x value right here, and this is the y value. But remember when I said when you take them out of this formula, what do you do to the signs? They're always the opposite sign, right?
Yes.
So that's going to be a negative 2, and that's a positive 4. So I'm going to start at 2, 4. I'm going to go 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first point. From here, I'm going to plot the next point using the slope. Well, there's no number there. I have a negative sign, but no number. What number could I put there?
1.
I can put a 1. I don't want to put a 0 because then if I times this by 0, I'm going to have nothing there, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do I make negative 1 a fraction?
One.
Put a 1 under it, right? Now, the negative 1 means I go up or down.
Down.
I go down. So I always, if there's a minus sign on a fraction, I always put the minus sign on the top. It helps me when I add, subtract fractions, and it helps me to graph slope. If there's a minus sign on the top, that means I go down. If there's no minus sign, I go up, right? But I'm always going to go to the right. So I'm going to go down 1 and then over 1 to the right. And now this is my graph. And when I read it left to right, the slope is going where? What direction is the slope going if I read left to right?
Down.
Down, right?
Down.
So the slope's negative. And that's good because in the formula, the slope is negative. So good job. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Thank you for being such a good audience. Woo!